Well, hello. I am David Jones. I am the CEO of Diversity of Thought and your host for this amazing program, True Colors on the Space Coast. We're excited to be here with episode 9 this year, season 4. Man, this is awesome that we've come this far and made it. And with me, as always, is my amazing co host, Miss Catherine Esrod. Okay, we're going to try that again. With me, as always, is my amazing co host, Miss Catherine Esrod. You know what? I just realized something. Catherine is not going to be with us tonight. She's always with us. That's right. She is currently at our county commissioners meeting, letting them know all about the amazing thing the Brevard Cultural Alliance is doing and why we should continue to ensure that we get support for the arts across the county. And so I want us to all wish her good luck while she's out there fighting for the arts community. And it's a good reason to not be here. But if she's not going to be here, I feel like I should need, I need somebody up here with me. And, there's this thing called the Brevard Cultural Alliance Cultural Summit that's coming up on Friday, September the 27th. And I had the honor and pleasure of not only being the speaker there, but I found two other individuals who are going to be speakers there as well. And I said, hey, what if you came out here and you kind of joined me on this True Colors podcast? And they said, absolutely. So first, bringing to the stage is the man, the myth, the legend himself from the Positive Energy Arts Foundation, Mr. Thomas K. Flagg. How you doing, sir?
Hello. How are you?
Good to see you as always. And then next up, somebody who just did something absolutely brilliant and amazing here on the Space Coast. She is the president of Space Swap, Miss Alexandra Kamara. Am I saying that properly? Kamara?
Yes.
Yay.
Nice to see everyone.
Good to
Hello.
see you as well. And if you are watching on Facebook Live or on YouTube, make sure you go ahead and throw your hello in the chat. Make sure you let people know you're watching. If you have any questions, ask us questions. Hopefully you're not new to this, and so you know how we get down. So before, we're going to talk a little bit about the Brevard Cultural Alliance Cultural Summit coming up. But before we dig into that, it is Hispanic Heritage Month. Woohoo! And so, right? And, there's so many really cool events that have taken place. I know last year we were able to highlight some of the different events that were taking place around the county. And we're going to continue to share those, but we're going to celebrate a little different today. Last week on Thursday, the Greater Palm Bay Chamber of Commerce had the Multicultural Networking 5-year anniversary, which was really fun. It was really amazing. I am a little biased because I am the chairman of that board, but that's, I can still speak the truth. It was a fun time. It was great. It was at the rooftop of Hotel Melby. And what was fascinating is I was like, this is great. This is fun. The people are amazing. And then I heard this voice and I'm like, well, who is that? And then just music and the entertainment. And I saw this gentleman and I was just like, okay, we were here, but he helped take it to like here with the skill set and the talent that he brought. And so I said, I know this is short notice, but can next Tuesday you come on a show and just let us know a little bit about who you are? And he said, yes. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring to on screen is a Mr. German Vilsan. Did I say that properly?
You got it right on the money.
Ooh, weird, man. I'm a country boy from Texas, so oftentimes I say things wrong. So I'm really happy that when I do get them right. German, thank you so much for joining us this evening. How you doing, sir?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing fine. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Even though it was short notice, you did tell me during the event. So, but it got kind of convoluted in my agenda. So thank you for calling me and letting me know.
Oh, absolutely. Same here, because I was just like, I asked this gentleman to come on, and I really want him to come on, so I need to make sure I get a hold of him today. And you were like, absolutely. So I appreciate it. And I know everything that you had going on as well. I just want to start off, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself. We'd love just the individuals who are watching live now. And hello, Andrea Gomes, for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, Felix Polito. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you could go ahead and just give us just a little brief information about who you are.
Well, again, my name, my birth name or pillar name, you could call it, is German Vila Sanchez. That's how the Vilsan came about, by joining the first 3 letters of the first and last, the first and second last name that we usually use in Latin America. And so I'm originally from New York City, born in New York City, but I've been all over the world. I've been a globetrotter, lived overseas in Germany and Mexico and Colombia and Brazil, um, and have worked internationally for over 30 years with ophthalmology. That was my main set, and got into music because music was in the blood from birth. My dad was empirically gifted. He never studied music, but he loved to transmit that music. He was a bohemian, 100%. He loved his Colombian country music, which we learned to love as well. And I was really injected with that love for music and the arts. And so as we grew, my parents divorced, we became kind of our own individuals through our rebellion and everything else. All those periods we go through life, I forgot about music for many years. And in fact, I never sang really professionally or with an audience until probably until 50, until I became 50. I'm 60 now. So that's when the passion came in, and that's when I met my wife. I was living in Colombia, South America. I was working under a contract with a company out of Chicago, managing and directing Latin America and the Caribbean out of Colombia. I was able to do that. And my wife introduced me to a bunch of casino owners at that point. And I started singing at casinos because I did a little bit of a party with them, and I started taking it more seriously. And I love it because it's just an outpour of emotion. It's really my essence. I always knew it, but somehow I kind of let it sit back and not let it go out and let it come out. And it finally came out, and I wouldn't change my life right now for anything. It keeps me out of trouble for sure.
I can't believe you just said you didn't start singing until you were 50.
Well, yeah, well, again, we sang as we were kids.
Yeah.
But especially until about 50. Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you've been doing this for 2 years.
And no. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take it all the time. Matter of fact, I'm glad you mentioned that because yesterday, I've got an invitation from NBC, The Voice, to do one of those virtual, what do they call it? Virtual
auditions.
Audition, yeah. This is going to be the third time. I'm not giving up. Okay.
That's great.
Let's see what
I like it. So right here from the Space Coast, we may have our next contestant for The Voice. Yeah. I say, heck yeah, go for it, man. We're rooting for you.
Yeah, I've been to a couple of contests on the West Coast. There's a TV station called Estrella TV, which is a Spanish television station, which is very prevalently mostly Central American and Mexican are their main audience. There's only about 45 million or 50 million of them. So I was out there and made it to quarterfinals. It was a nice show. It probably wasn't my perfect fit. Certain shows are a fit for certain individuals. That was more of a younger crowd, and they're looking for people they can squeeze 10, 15, 20 years with their talent. So, I mean, they could probably get about another 10 years out of me, but what I mean, that's what it was all about. So quarterfinals was good enough. I had a great time. It was great exposure. People were seeing me on the street. Hey, I saw you. You were that show. It helped a little bit.
That's pretty awesome. And Pam Bird, thank you for tuning in and watching as well. Please make sure if you guys are watching, go ahead and say hello in the chat. And if you do have any questions for the individuals that we have on the screen, make sure you please put them in there. So, all right. I was out like in the outward section. I forget the name of I don't know how to explain the area, but you were in the room that had like the food and everything else, where the main event was taking place. So I'm out in the other area, and then all of a sudden I hear this music come on. I'm like, great. And then I heard the singing, and I was like, wait, is that somebody live? And so I ran in there, and you're just up there. And it's funny because it wasn't just the singing. And hello, Miguel Garcia. Thank you for tuning in and watching. It wasn't just the singing, like you you entertained, man. You captivated the audience, like in between the songs. It was like you emceed this event, and I don't know if that's what you were supposed to be there for, but I saw you do some of like the emceeing to where you kept it live, and then when you performed, I was just like, okay, like let's go. Like people went from out there inside to see like who's the singing and like like what's happening. Um, you said you got into singing at 50, like back into it professionally. You said your wife is the reason why?
Yeah, she's the one that listened to me a couple of times while we're doing parties at home and things of that nature. And she says, wait a minute. And so she's contacting her friends. She's an esthetician. She had her own spa in Colombia. So she contacted her friends, and that's how it all got started, really.
That is awesome. What's one of the coolest gigs you've had? Like just like one of the coolest things you've been able to do?
Well, again, this one situation that I talked about earlier with the Tengo Talento, which is I Have Talent, the contest down in California was awesome. And also a big audience in Colombia, in Medellin. I actually recorded a CD. I recorded a CD and had I did my own outing, so to speak. I promoted it, and we created this big party. We had about over 250 people in this small little kind of a rental hall, and we did a beautiful dinner. It was just beautiful, you know. And we did that, and it was very gratifying to see how many people got out there and wanted to enjoy the show and bought the CD. So that was fun, and doing a kind of like a pretty big concert for a nonprofit in a smaller town. We had a full theater. It's beautiful, you know, when you get all that energy going and you get people emotions all revved up and they're liking it and you're connecting, because that's what it's all about. It's connecting with the audience. It's connecting with the people. It's exchanging that energy, that love that's provided by, you know, the essence of loving what you do and that connection with a greater power, because that's where it's coming from. Nowhere else.
There it is.
Okay, so one, I gotta tell you, I went to your site and I was like, this is awesome. And so we're gonna make sure that we give people access to your website. I'm gonna put it in the chat and put it on there so people can actually see it on the Facebook and on the YouTube live. And we'll make sure that we talk about it later as well. But then you give everybody an opportunity to get a little sample of what it is that you do and what you bring to the table, as well as I do like this, and I talked to my business partner who's Cuban. I said, am I saying this right? It's La vida es una sinfonía, cada nota se debe tocar con emoción.
It's the same thing on the top, so you can read it in
Spanish.
Spanish.
Yeah. But I felt really good because he goes, that was good. I was just like, I know, right? He didn't know I was reading it. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I said life is a sympathy. Every note should be played with emotion. He was like, that's right. And I was like, so one, I want to say thank you. You made me look amazing because I got to read the website and he had no idea. But I think that's beautiful. I like that. Life is a symphony and every note should be played with emotion. And that is how I took your songs, because you do a lot of ballads. It's very emotional. I said, man, if you want to really, really, really make yourself look good, you should hire this guy to serenade you and somebody while you guys are eating. It's gonna be an amazing event. Is that like your favorite genre of music to sing, more ballads? And then what other genres of music do you also perform?
I perform my preference. Yes, it is the romantic ballad. I'm a balladeer by default, so to speak. It's what I like. But obviously, we need to reach other audiences. And so, if you go to Suddenly, which is that was one of my favorite videos. That one right there. It was recorded here in Melbourne at the beach. We got there at right before sunup. So it was quite the experience to sing that early in the morning and to do the recording. It was fun. But yeah, definitely the my favorite genre is the ballad. However, we do we do tropical, we do merengue, we do salsa, we do cumbia. I do other genres, a little bit of country. Um, but this was a lot of fun. This was a beautiful a moment in my lifetime because I wanted to do this, whether whatever happened. It's for me. It was very personal, very deep, and again, we did like, gosh, I don't know, 10, 15 videos, something like that.
It's very good, and this is one of them. This is Suddenly. And you performed this, by the way. It was really good.
Cause this love is everlasting. Suddenly, life has new meaning to me. There is beauty up above and things we never take notice of. You wake up and suddenly you're in love.
See, I'm just gonna lip sync with you.
Nobody
it's actually sing.
That early in the morning is not easy to sing. Anytime that you can ask any performer, singing in the morning is not easy.
And you know what's really cool is that you have the ability to bless us with that voice in English and also in Spanish.
Yeah. I take it that it was important. Let me make a little point there, because I was born with Hispanic music in my life. English music and English was secondary to me. I liked it, I enjoyed it, but it became not as important. However, once I started singing and I came back to the States, which was back in 2017, I was living in Colombia from 11 through 17, and I came back and I started working the circuit here at El Sombrero and a few other restaurants. I saw a need to incorporate American music because I felt I wasn't including people that needed to be included, which is Americans, people that live here, people that speak English, for goodness grace. And I say, I got to start doing music in English. And I started reconnecting myself to that music. And by default, I started reconnecting to music that wasn't even from my generation. It was from the 50s and 60s and 70s. 70s a little bit, but Tom Jones, Paul Anka, Andy Williams, Engelbert Humperdinck, and I started listening to this music, and I said, "This is beautiful." And so I adopted a lot of that music in my repertoire, in the music that I perform, and it fits me like a glove. I feel, anyways. It's my opinion. It's somewhat subjective, but if you listen to some of the music. Engelbert, for example, is fascinating. Tom Jones, forget about it. He's out of this world. Billy Joel, Lionel Richie, amongst others, Jeffrey Osborne, that's the kind of music that I relate to. And so I brought it in, and it was very successful because I would do the show both in Spanish and in English. And that's what I do now, wherever I go. And not everybody is as connected to that situation as I am, or as some of us are. I feel that inclusion is so important, no matter where you are, and that you have to bring people together, and to understand that we're in this together. We're not one way here, one way there. We're all together. We need to bring ourselves even closer together rather than separating ourselves. That in some cases, my opinion may happen, and it's not good. Personally, I think integration is very important. And that's where the other project came about, which was doing some songs that are in Spanish and adapting them to English. And so I've recorded, I believe, about 10 songs that were originally in Spanish, and I did them in English. One was from a fellow by the name of Joan Sebastian, who passed away a couple of years ago, who was a great, prolific songwriter and singer from Mexico, and other music as well. If you want to go back to the actual website, I can show you one of the songs that was actually adapted to English from Spanish. Do you mind, David? Okay, so you're gonna have to go up probably. Go up on the no, the other way, the other way. That one right there. Give me the night so slowly. This is a bolero that's called Regálame esta noche. Please give me this night.
Stay with me through the night, love. Stay with me through the night, love. As it is cold and lonely, just hold me in your arms, dear. Give me the night so slowly. Your face upon the pillow is waiting for an answer. I may just pour my heart out, or silent with my doubt. Tomorrow very early, we'll have that conversation. And if you're well decided to leave with resignation, then it will be in vain to convince you to stay. Give me this night so slowly. Save me from dying early.
Yeah, that song is kind of cool. I like it. It's again, it's the kind of romantic. Thank you. That was taken from the Spanish to the English, and as you well know, to adapt a song is not just to bring it and translate it. You have to make it make sense. So it was fun.
Oh yeah,
it was fun.
Well, I just want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to know how to reach you. And so we've got your Facebook, which is your name, Jermaine Fasson. And we have JermaineFasson.com. Your email is JermaineFasson1@gmail.com and 786-523-5388. That is scrolling across, so that'll be out there for the social media world on Facebook and YouTube to see. Jermaine, brother, thank you so much for coming on a short notice. I just wanted to make sure to give people an opportunity to meet you. You are an amazing human being. You are bringing a phenomenal talent and skill set here to the Space Coast. And I'm looking forward to seeing how we continue to utilize that talent to bring the beauty of music and joy that you do, because I've seen it firsthand of what you do to an event. And you, sir, are an individual that can help elevate the events that we have here. And I really am looking forward to seeing people take advantage of that.
Thank you. You can come up to Marker 99. I'm there Friday.
Wait, where are you Friday?
Marker 99. Up in,
all right, Marker 99.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good.
Okay, so you heard it here. Marker 99. Come check out Jermaine. Thank you so much, man. We really appreciate you.
God bless you guys.
Good job.
Take care. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Hey, that was fun.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, truly.
I loved his voice. I really do. Like in person, I was just like, ooh. And then he did the Lionel Richie song while we were out there, and I was like, he hit me here with that one. I was just like, oh, I know that. That's the one that I sing when nobody else is around. I'm like, yeah, that's a good song, but nobody wants to hear this. Like, nope. I promise you, I'm not trying to scare anybody. Debbie Crum Powell, thank you for watching. Julie Perry, thank you for watching. Rachel Imoff Chaklos, thank you for watching. For all of those that are tuning in, we are live on Facebook and YouTube of BCA Cultural Alliance. This is True Colors on the Space Coast. I'm your host, David Jones. We just got done talking with an amazing individual, Jermaine Fasson. I'm going to say Jermaine, I'm already messing up. The Texas in me is already.
You got it. You got it.
I know. I'm trying here. We're going to pivot and talk a little bit about the summit coming up for BCA. We have the Cultural Summit coming up on Friday. Can you guys believe that?
I'm excited.
It's happening already, and you two are breakout groups. So before we talk more about the breakout, our breakout groups, I do want to make sure that people understand what they have the opportunity to be a part of. So, uh, one, we are going to have a panel of amazing human beings here in Brevard County. On this panel will be Keith Winston, who is the executive director from the Brevard Zoo. And he brings a wealth of knowledge. And I know you're like Brevard Cultural Arts, but if you see how the zoo utilizes the arts to enhance the experience, it's going to be a great individual to have on. Linda Weatherman, who is the president and CEO of our Economic Development Commission of the Space Coast. She's a huge component and advocate for the arts and what it does for a community as we are working to bring individual organizations to Brevard County and to keep them in Brevard County. Arts plays such an important role in that. She's going to be able to talk on that. And then to keep with that theme of just individuals from the business community that have their own individual unique perspective of what it means and the importance of having arts and then what we do as chambers to help flourish and make sure that those are thriving. We have Ann Conroy Bader, who is the president of the Melbourne Regional Chamber of Commerce, Aaron Atkins, who's the president of the Titusville Chamber of Commerce, Nancy Peltonen, who is the president and CEO of the Greater Palm Bay Chamber of Commerce, and Jimmy Lane, who's the president and CEO of the Cocoa Beach Regional Chamber of Commerce. So that's going to be one panel. It'll be a great panel to sit back and listen to. And then we have breakout groups. And in the breakout groups, we have Connor Bryan, who's an artist and owner of Specialty Studios on Etsy. We have Derek Gores, who's the artist and owner of Derek Gores Gallery in Rocky Water. Yep. Mercantile. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Mercantile. There you go. Country again. You know, Texas. I blame Texas and a public high school Florida education. We have Crystal McDougall, she creativity coach and director at Artletic LLC and a therapist at Artletic Wellness. And you should all know her if you watch this program because she actually came on the program before to talk about that and how she utilizes art from a social working perspective, which was pretty unique. And then I have these two individuals who are going to be up there with me. Well, not up there with me, but out there with me during the summit. And that is Mr. Thomas Flagg with Positive Energy Arts Foundation and Alexandra Kamara, again, from the president of Space Swap. And Thomas, if I go ahead and start with you, just tell us a little bit about yourself, Thomas.
Well, I've been in it forever, it seems. My father was what was called an eccentric dancer. So that means that if it was sort of stylized and crazy, you know, really it would be breaking today, doing things that most people wouldn't do. He was a great tapper and sort of eccentric dancer often speaks to being funny when you dance. And that sounds easy until you have to do it. So
can I say it's I do that, but not intentionally. It's just if you see me dance, it's funny, but okay.
Well, that's it. People don't cry when I dance. They laugh. But I've just been in it forever since I was younger, then college, then worked as an actor in film and television for many years in New York and LA, and then just had this passion for dance. I just believe that dance is exposing the soul in such a way that it shows the best of who we are, shows the capacity of human beings, of humanity. And I was fortunate to be work with New York City Ballet when I was very young. And so I saw the best of the best. I was there when Baryshnikov left American Ballet Theater and danced with New York City Ballet for about, I think, 2 seasons. But that was the ballet boom. That was it. That's when so many Turning Point, the movie, came out, and Baryshnikov was such a big deal. But I worked in the concert world with Cirque du Soleil. I worked in film and television with my clients that would dance. And then when I finished all that, I pretty much retired and then sort of totally changed my focus to working with kids in the inner city. And I worked in Pennsylvania, in Harrisburg and York, Pennsylvania. And let me tell you, there are some pretty intense goings on in those schools. And it's not pretty. It's not pretty. they've lost all their arts. They don't have sports. They don't have arts. They got nothing except their screens. And we were impassioned to bring them dance, bring them movement. Was it like to dance with an ensemble, with a group of, like-minded kids and get up there and do it? So I brought in some of the best hip hop artists from New York and Philly and Baltimore. We did some great stuff. We affected over 100,000 kids in 10 years. And so it was pretty powerful stuff. And now I find myself here in Melbourne, and I I, I think that's my addiction. My addiction is to be that Johnny Appleseed of dance. I look around, I see some, but I think, wow, what could happen here? This is a great place. The Space Coast, all of the things that are going on, Cocoa Beach, tourism, cruise ships, and I don't think so many people are coming here. This was a pretty mature audience generally, but it's not anymore. There are a lot of young families coming here, and we're seeking the potential to bring dance to convention situation, competition, bring dance into the schools, performances, and just this Thursday, I will be bringing in incredible dance luminaries from New York. They're flying in, God bless their hearts, to do my live podcast, American Spectacle, and to speak about who we were as dancers, America. What did America bring to the table? Well, we brought pretty much everything. I mean, you think about Isadora Duncan, Martha Graham, George Balanchine, Fred Astaire, Gene K. It goes on and on. We really invented the standard, the industry standard for the world to see and cherish for decades and decades and decades. So I'm saying,
Thomas, just
yeah.
really quick then, what's going to be what's going to like the high overview of your presentation that you're going to be talking about at the summit on Friday?
Well, I think that's pretty much it, to remind everyone that everyone has a dance in them. The dance is really the highest expression of who we are and who we can be, and the ability to produce it. It's one thing to say, isn't it nice, we'll all dance here? And the other thing is to get that on its feet. How do you do it? How does the community come around that and manifest? My favorite thing to do, manifest the impossible. That's what I'm good at.
Okay, and that means that we're going to actually dance in your breakout, right? Like you're going to make everybody get up and like.
Probably not, but I will talk about. I have no problem. I'm like you. I start dancing, people start laughing. But bottom line is, how do we get it up? I can get everybody and everything. And Florida is filled with great dance. So why don't we have a place that's a magnet where it's known for dance? And that's what we're working on.
I like it. Thomas, thank you so much. I cannot wait for your breakout session. We're going to get people dancing. And I think what we should do is play every different type of music at the same time and just tell people, pick whichever way you want to dance to and just see what happens. It'll probably be an insane experiment, but it could be fun or it could go horribly wrong.
That's called hybridization. There we go.
It's a thing. Next up. So hi, Miss Alexandra. What's fun is that like I don't know what happened, but it froze, and I was just like, okay, she might come back, and then I saw you pop back in. I was like, oh no, okay, so I can remove the frozen you. But it blurred when it froze. So the good news is you didn't get caught with that like, and then it's just kind of stuck in that like I was about to laugh, but I didn't laugh. Oh, like they're like, what is that?
I'm back. Can you hear me? Okay, I took out AirPods, so now I'm speaking directly into my computer.
No, you sound fantastic.
Awesome.
All right, so first, before we get into Space Swap and what you're going to be talking about, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Alexandra. My friends call me Allie. I was born and raised here. I graduated from Satellite High School, Stingham, and I was actually.
All right, you can go now. I'm going to go ahead because it's all about the Bulldogs. Sorry. Like you had me, and then you went Satellite and Stingham, and I'm like,
Yep. So I did the Fine Arts Academy. I went to McNair Magnet School for middle. It's up in Cocoa, Rockledge area, and they had a performing arts magnet. So I've always been into the arts. At 18, I moved to LA to pursue acting, and I had a 6-year career in acting and specifically production, film production. So I worked behind the scenes, working my way up from a production assistant to an assistant director. Moved back here in 2020, and I started Space Swap, which we can get into in a minute. Because I saw a great need for arts and culture here on the Space Coast, and really safe spaces for young people to come together and be around each other and be creative. And we needed more DIY shows, DIY venues, and we created a community for that here. So, yeah.
So one, I think it's great because both of you hit a very similar nail on the head, and that is it's just how we are looking at providing spaces for younger individuals here, because Brevard has a shift, and it's more of a mix where this used to have this feel of it's a much older community, and now it's not to say the older community is gone, but it's definitely more of a mix of a community of who is here, and so being able to provide events, venues, opportunities, the way that you all have for a younger demographic that's here is extraordinarily important and extraordinarily powerful. So awesome for the both of you with that. Alexandra, if you could talk to us, what is Space Swap? So you're going to, I have it pulled up, and you are doing a master class in event planning and logistics as the president of Space Swap. So tell us a little bit about Space Swap.
Yeah, so Space Swap started as a clothing swap in the park, in Pineapple Park in Eau Gallie Arts District, about 3 years ago. We just came up on our 3-year anniversary this September. So, yay. And we invited Ways for Life, previously known as Ready for Life. I'm really good friends with the executive director, Pam Bress. I actually went to preschool with her daughter, small town. And we were raising awareness for Ready for Life at the time, as well as swapping clothing in a park. And the idea of the clothing swap is to bring people who wanted to clean out their closets and trade clothing so that it didn't end up in a landfill instead of going out shopping. And this event we did a second time after popular demand, and it doubled in size. The next event doubled in size. And before you knew it, we had our 4th event and we had 500 people there. And the word spread. We were doing things very different. And we made our events, we built up the hype a lot on social media. We would keep the addresses a secret and really made it feel fun and exclusive and cool, because you needed to be pretty much invited to come to at least our first event. And it was just so cool. We have the most amazing community of supporters. And eventually we opened a brick and mortar that we had for a year, and we did 100 events in that brick and mortar. And I'm going to take all of that experience combined with all of my experience being an assistant director in Los Angeles, package it up all nice and pretty, and present this hands-on masterclass of event planning at the Brevard Cultural Summit, which I actually met David Jones at 2 years ago. I was an attendee, and it provided me with so many amazing tools and networking and connections that really changed the trajectory of my future and Space Swap's future. I got tied into SCORE, and I really learned how to scale an art-based business, which is quite difficult to do, and lean in and find help. And I'm excited to share those experiences with others that it might be their first time attending the Cultural Summit.
That is awesome. Well, I think this Friday is going to be absolutely amazing. And if you're watching live or you watch the replay, there are currently, now it depends on how late you watch the replay, like you wait till like Thursday, you might miss out. There's still tickets for sale. And so we have these amazing individuals that you have joined me today that are going to be doing breakout sessions. There's another breakout session called Beyond the Studio, Scaling Your Personal Creative Venture to Galleries, Commissions, and More. That's by Derek Gores. We have Decolonization in the Arts, a Social Work Perspective by Crystal McDougall. And then we have Etsy Alchemy, Turning Creativity into Gold with Digital Products by Connor Bryant. And then mine is, so as people know from the show that I am the CEO and founder of Diversity of Thought. And they may have heard me say once or twice before that I'm the chairman of the board for the Greater Palm Bay Chamber of Commerce. Woohoo, go Chamber. But another thing that, I had an issue of saying no to, because I have issues of saying no when people say, hey, can you do this? And I'm like, please. Okay. But I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I am the government relations chair for the American Advertising Federation for the state of Florida and the Caribbean, also known as District 4. And a part of that job is to advocate, the main part of my job is to advocate on behalf of the marketing and advertising industry, also including the film and television industry. And so we're going to talk about how to revitalize Florida's role in film and television and what it means specifically here for the Space Coast, or what it could mean. Alexandra, something that you said that hurts my heart near and dear is you said you graduated and moved to California so that you can work in the industry. And one day it would be really great to say I graduated and I was able to stay here and be very successful in the film and television industry. And I think that there's ways for us to get there. We're going to talk about that during our breakout workshop. So awesome. You have the opportunity. Please go to artsbrevard.org/summit. You can actually still get tickets. Again, that's artsbrevard.org and then /summit, and you can still get tickets. They are on sale. It's going to be an amazing experience. As you heard from Alexandra, it wasn't just about the breakouts, but there were networking opportunities that are going to be created there as well. So please make sure you come out and continue to support the arts in this community, because I promise you, it is absolutely worth it. And my magical, wonderful, amazing co-host is right now actually at a county commission meeting, pushing for the arts and making sure that everybody understands the impact that the arts have on the community today and what the potential future for what that can look like is for tomorrow. So we look forward to seeing you, all of you, hopefully, who are watching and listening, plus a friend, tell a friend, at the Cultural Summit coming up on Friday, the 27th. Again, you can go to artsbrevard.org/summit and you can still purchase your ticket. You can also see the different breakouts and the keynote and the panel that's going to be there. I am your host, David Jones, and this has been episode 9 of season 4. We've been doing this for 4 years. This is amazing. This started during the COVID season, the COVID year, as a project for Lead Brevard. And as a CAP project, it stuck, and it's now what we call a legacy CAP project, because it's still happening, which is pretty awesome. We're going to try to go for the record. I don't know what the longest legacy CAP project is, but now I'm going to say, Kristen, when you're watching, because I know you're going to watch the replay, if you could put in the chat or find out for us, what's the longest legacy CAP project? And we're going to see if we can beat that. I also want to give a shout out to a couple of our sponsors, Leap of Art being one, Thomas, you mentioned one, Rock, Paper, Simple, High Diversity of Thought, us as well. And if you like more information on how you too can sponsor, because we are going to be coming back for season 5. Yes, we will, in 2025. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Catherine. It's a great opportunity to get your business name out there and promote it. And it's also an amazing opportunity to continue to support the arts community. I am your host. We'll be back in 2 weeks with our final episode of the year. No, but it's going to be such a great episode because we're going to be talking about a film festival that's coming up. And we're going to do a nice an interview with actually a student who just graduated high school, like you, Alexandra, and who wants to go into the film and television industry. And so I may even ask you, like, hey, man, like, I might want to bring you back on because you might have some good advice and guidance as well. And I just put you on the spot to, like, you know, on a live program, like, hey, by the way, I may be looking to bring you back on if that's okay.
Cool.
Hey, see, I got a cool. What I like is she's smart. She didn't say yes. She said, cool. She's smarter than I am. So I'm like, sure. Then I'm like, oh my God, I agree. So I got to do it.
She's a politician.
Let me think about it.
Okay. I'll get you all the details, the date and the time. Again, I'm David Jones. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a fantastic evening.
Thank you.
Bye.